Hi, class. So this video, I want to go over the assignment that's due this week. You can see it's due September 25th, which is this coming Sunday. And for any accommodated students, you have until October 9th. For everybody else, it is due the 25th. Right, so this is your personal values assessment. And it is a paper where you're going to write down your vision, your mission, some SMART goals, and elaborate on it a little bit. So here is the general guidelines for it. You can see that the word count is 1,000 to 1,250 words. I'm not going to hold you to that. I'm asking you to consider the 1,250 word count a maximum. Please don't go over it. And there are 6 prompts. So define your personal vision and mission statements. List a minimum, that means you can do more, but a minimum of 5 SMART goals. So this is 5 separate goals, each one containing each 5 elements of the SMART formula. Identify significant personal standards or principles that you hold, and you have to discuss how they guide you, limit you, or circumscribe your stated vision, mission, and goal plan. So they should be connected to your vision and mission. Number 4 is, what do you need to do or keep doing to ensure that you reach your vision and achieve your mission? So your vision should be something that you are trying to accomplish with your life, not something that you're already there or that you're just trying to continue being, but something that you're striving for in the future. Number 5 is, how do the vision, mission, and values you've outlined create a competitive advantage for yourself in the job market? So you're focused on the job market. And word of advice, don't tell me about your Christian worldview as a competitive advantage, because there are many Christians in the job market. Don't tell me that you're a hard worker, because there's lots of hardworking people out there. Really give this some thought and try to decide, what is it that makes you unique, different from everybody else out there, that gives you an advantage over others? Are you a great writer? If you're a great writer and a great communicator, that will set you apart. See if you can come up with other ideas too. And finally, how is the process of setting, measuring, and modifying your personal vision, mission, and goal plan different from what's required by the leader of a small company? And how does the process differ between you doing it for yourself and a small company doing it? I want you to be sure to go through the rubric, because this is the standard by which everyone is graded. All right, so going through the rubric, you can see, if I pull up the rubric, you can print it to PDF and have it in front of you if you like. And there are several options here. Use each one of these as your headings on your paper. From vision and mission statements, 5 SMART goals, personal values, monitoring, modifying, and measuring success, competitive advantage, and personal versus corporate. So there's your 6 headings. Under each one, look at the number 5, the excellent. So for your vision and mission statements, they need to be concise, as short as possible, but informative. They need to define who and in what capacity you intend to serve and the goals you're going to achieve. So you can do your vision statement that overall says what you're going to achieve. It's going to be the ultimate, that your thing that you're going to do with your life. Remember, big, audacious goals. With your mission statement, there should be some general goals in there, what the world is going to look like when you achieve your mission, what people's lives will look like. And then you can build on those You could list 5 very brief goals in your mission statement, and then you could build on those to be your SMART goals. And then you know that it relates. So the SMART goals, then you need to use all 5 of the SMART goal items, specific, measurable, and on through the 5, so that they align with your vision and mission, and we know that they're specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time-bound. If you do less than 5, you get 0 points. Keep that in mind. If you have 5, but they're not complete, you get some points, and you see. So strive for what it takes to achieve the maximum. This paper should be an easy paper to get an A on. Next, we'll move to your personal values. So they need to be significant personal values, and I want you to be specific about what your personal values are. It's one thing to say that your values are treating people fairly, but what does that look like? How do you treat people fairly? Specific actions that you would take to make sure people are treated fairly. Think in very, very specific terms, and don't be too general, because you'll miss points if you're too general. Monitoring, modifying, and measuring success. How are you going to make sure that you're working successfully towards your goals, that you're making progress, or that you reach them? You need to discuss this. And you need to have a specific plan for doing so. So think of this as in steps, things that I am going to do to achieve my goal. Here's the 5 steps, and you don't have to use 5. That's just a suggestion, but here's the 5 things I'm going to do to monitor, to modify where necessary, and measure the success of my goals. Competitive advantage. When we're discussing competitive advantage, I want you to think about what makes you different from everybody else in the workplace. So you have a Christian worldview, that's great, but there's lots of Christians in the workplace. That's not a competitive advantage. Are you a hard worker? It's much needed, but there's lots of hard workers in the workplace. So being a hard worker doesn't give you a competitive advantage. What is it that you do better than anybody else? Do you write well and communicate well? If you do, that could be a competitive advantage, because most people struggle to communicate and struggle to write well. So think this through, really give it some good thought this week. What is it about you that's different from everyone else in the workplace and will give you an advantage over them in competing for the top jobs? And finally, we have personal versus corporate. You'll discuss how the process was different for you as an individual coming up with vision, mission, and SMART goals versus what it might be like for a small business to do this. So give me some specific examples if you can. Let's say about 3 examples of how it's different between doing it on a personal level and a business level. All right, and then the rest of these 5 items are just the normal things every paper gets. Thesis, development, and purpose. Make sure it flows, your entire essay flows, makes sense, progresses logically from one section to the next. That flows into here. Is your argument logical? Is it constructed well? Are you being persuasive with me? And that's where your specific examples and specific items are going to come in. If you're too general, you're not going to get full points here. Mechanics of writing, spelling, punctuation, grammar, language. Paper format, make sure you're using APA format, and documentation of sources. Since this is a personal reflection type paper, I'm not going to require sources here. However, if you use any sources to help you get ideas for how you could gain competitive advantage, for example, go ahead and cite them. All right, that's a summary of this assessment. your personal values assessment. I do want to let you know that if you are an honor student, then there is an additional item you need to complete. Honor students, if you're not sure what to do, please reach out to me. And I'll see you in class. Have a great week.